Hey, what's up, guys? It's Apollo Uchiha here, back with a new movie. The name of this movie is What If Naruto Had Karma and Jougan, the movie. And yeah, guys, it's an unscripted movie as well. Shout out to Anime Boy 666 for suggesting this idea. I hope you like this one, and if you do, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel. And without further ado, let's begin with our story. Story begins in Konohagakure no Sato. As it was destroyed, everything was rubbled, and there was no living being there left alive. As we see two beings clashing with one another on Hokage Monument, or what was left of it. As we go towards the seventh Hokage's face, which was none other than Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, whose half face was destroyed, as one figure was standing on it. It was none other than his adopted son, Kawaki, as the other son was on his knees, holding his sword with both hands as he was panting heavily, as both of them had some markings over their arm and eyes. One had blue, while the other one had red. Kawaki, I didn't know you would go this far. Don't worry, Boruto. I will send you where I have sent the seventh Hokage. The age of shinobi is over. No, it is not, Boruto said, as he took out a scroll as he put some chakra into it after opening it. Because I am its last hope. And with that, Boruto disappeared. As Kawaki's eyes widened, where did he go? He was alerted. As suddenly, a bright light emerged. No, damn it! As everything was consumed by it, destroying this reality altogether. It was Boruto's trump card in case he lost everything. It was a suicidal jutsu that he created with the help of his sensei, which was none other than Sasuke Uchiha. As Boruto has teleported away from that time, with all he had went through in order to create a new seal, a space-time seal just like his grandfather had used, which earned him the famed name of the Yellow Flash, but a more modern and specific seal, which was created with the help of his sister Himawari and him, which allowed him to go back into time. As we see Boruto now laying in front of Konoha. I am back, I guess. It worked, as he then started to shed tears in remembrance of his mother and sister, because they had too been killed by Kawaki. As suddenly he was surrounded by Anbus and Hiruzen Sarutobi. As then he noticed something. The village was somewhat destroyed. What? What time am I in? It's the third Hokage. Who are you? As Hiruzen and everyone were shocked when they saw the kid. He resembled somewhat the fourth Hokage, and not only that, he also resembled this baby that was in their hand, even though there was no baby fat on his face. My name is Boruto Uzumaki Namikaze. I came from the future, Sandaime-sama. As everyone's eyes widened. What do you mean? I mean what I said. I am his son, he said, pointing towards Naruto. As Kakashi, who was there, eyes widened as he dropped the mask. Do you have any proof? As he put his hand out and made the Rasengan. Only you, Erosanin, and my father knew this technique when my grandfather died, sealing the Kyuubi inside of him. How do you know about that? Because in the future, he is known as the god of shinobi. As everyone's eyes widened, the kid that the Sandaime was holding was given the mentality of the god of shinobi in the upcoming future. We have to go. It is of the urgent that we need to talk. I don't have much time. I've destroyed my reality in order to just come here to warn him about the beings that are coming. What beings? Beings that we cannot comprehend, that are above us, stronger than us. He has to be strong, and I am willing to give everything I can just to save him. And your world, mine is destroyed though. What happened? Not here, please, because he's still alive. Who? Zetsu. He's one of their wills, and he has been manipulating the shinobi history altogether since the time of Madara Uchiha. What is going on? He knows too much. As he looked towards his Anbu, who was specialized in looking for any body language that lied or tell the truth. As he nodded, he's telling the truth, Hokage-sama. Are you really this boy's son from the future? As Boruto, with a little bit of chakra he had, put it into his karma seal as it appeared on his body. This is the curse that they place on those who they have chosen as vessels. They are immortal beings, almost immortal, that cannot be killed. But mine one, he died. I killed him in my own mindscape, overpowering him, and earned this power. This is what I'm about to give him, alongside my dojutsu. What? Jougan, as he opened his other eye, which had a huge scar over it, as it was just like the Byakugan, but much more different, and it had a black Q behind it. As everyone gasped, what is this dojutsu? It is a new dojutsu that was discovered. It is a much more pure eye than the Yuga's. Really? Yes, that is why I'm here. He needs these items and the things I brought from the future in order to train hard, in order to become so strong that he will be able to take them down. Why him? If you couldn't, then why him? He died because he was taken off guard. He didn't have Kurama at the time. Who's that? It was the Nine-Tails. Wait, what do you mean Nine-Tails? They made peace together. They saved the whole elemental nations together from Kaguya. She will be appearing soon. But we cannot talk much about it here because Zetsu is here. He will be lurking in the shadows, listening to you attentively. We have to go from here. Okay, come to my office. As after that, all of them left. And half an hour later, Boruto was standing inside the old Hokage office as tears started to shed from his eyes. It's kind of ironic. My father used to sit here and I was just a brat who did everything I can to get his attention. And yet he put the village above us and still loved us at the same time. As Hiruzen smiled, that is the job of the Hokage, my boy. Yeah, I should have known. I should have known better, said Boruto as he started to cry. Calm down, my boy. I know you have put a huge burden over your shoulders that your boss owed to your father, but you should know that you did a noble deed. You are going to save millions of lives. Yes, that is why I have written down a scroll of those whose lives should be saved and what events took place after his birth, up to his death, and which led to the destruction of my future. All the main events are here, he said, taking out a scroll and giving Hiruzen to it. Aside from him, here are the jutsus that he discovered and made. And please call Jiraiya back as much as hurriedly as possible to train him in Sage mode, because he will be the one who will perfect it. And not only that, can you please let me talk to Kurama? I need to speak to him. Need to show him what happened. Are you sure about this, my boy? I mean, the Biju is still rampaging and was angry once he was sealed. He killed your grandparents. I know what he did. And he was apologetic about it later on. He even became my father's partner and friend, and even our guardian. He looked out for us. Hiruzen was quite surprised. The Biju has turned so much that he was turned into a protector from a destroyer? All because of this child and its will. He knew that this kid was important, but he felt fear grip his heart because of what was about to await them was total chaos and destruction. Is this what the next generation has to go through? As Boruto then said, please give these scrolls to Hyuga and Hidashi Hyuga as well. And don't trust Danzo. He still has his route running. And if he says execute the Uchihas, then give them this scroll. Never let go of Itachi Uchiha. You will need him later on. I don't have much time. Can you do this? as Boruto then took out his eye, which had the jougan, and implanted it into Naruto, as Naruto's one eye absorbed it, as he then activated his karma seal, while his one eye socket was bleeding, as he put it on the baby's hand as he grabbed it. Please, Dad, you're our last hope, as the karma seal started to spread all throughout Naruto's body before going to his arm only and his eyes, before it died down. In the seal, QB was awoken and has stopped rampaging as he listened to the future attentively. He was no more. He died protecting this human that he so much hated, loathed with everything he had. And not only that, everything there was destroyed. As he saw then a figure standing in front of him. It was the same kid who arrived here. Who are you? It's been a while, huh, Grandma? I don't know you, but how do you know my name? You told me when I was a baby. You played with me. You can look through my memories, and you'll find out. As Boruto allowed Kurama to look through Boruto's memories, and he did. He heard the tales of the Great Fourth Shinobi War, how this kid will become the pathway of their meeting place where their father once stood. He will be there in the center, and how he will be ready to lay down his life, and Kurama will trick him to use his max power in order to get his life away, and how this kid will be saddened by that outcome. He was taken aback by all of the memories. They were wholesome, and he felt loved. Even that little girl wasn't scared of him and was playing with him, and he was happy about that. Even this boy. And after seeing through all of his memories, Kyuubi was shedding tears. You have been through a lot, Boruto, Kyuubi said, as one of his huge furry fingers caressed Boruto's cheek to shed the tear away. Yeah, it's good to have you back. I may not be your Kurama, but I have his memories. If this is our future, then I will do everything in my power to protect and help this one. But he must be the same one as yours. If he isn't, then I apologize, Boruto. I won't be able to help much out. I know. Please, just guide him right. He needs a lot of guidance, because I know what awaits him is hell. Pure hell. I have been back in time before. I have seen that with that Uchiha. And you were here to kill that Kishiki Otsutsuki, right? Yes. How many are there out? Well, Kawaki, Ishiki's vessel, or previous vessel, who became adoptive brother of mine later on, adopted by my father. He joined their forces. The Otsutsuki King was coming. As then, the Sage of the Six Spots arrived. My boy, that is very troubling news. Father, you must be the Sage. Yes, I apologize, because it is because of my clan that this world has suffered so much. I wanted peace, but it seems that I can't just achieve it. And even if it was achieved by this kid, it lasted only for 30 or so years. After that, everything was destroyed at my clan's hands. For that, I apologize, Boruto. No, it's alright. Alongside Kurama, I also vow that this kid will be the heir to the Ninshu, and my powers will be given to him. Thank you. Thank you so much. As Boruto began to disappear, Boruto, what's happening? My time is up. My timeline is gone. It is erased. My sister and I created that jutsu from the Fuinjutsu libraries of our grandfather and the Nidame and Mito Uzumaki. We're going to disappear. But we can be born again. Everything is written in the scrolls. Just remember that I love all of you. Mother, you, Tojan, and Himawari. As with those words, Boruto left the mindscape as he was now shaking visibly as he was disappearing. What is going on, my boy? Just please give these scrolls to the Hyuga clan head. And not only that, the other also contains some pictures as proof. I I will be leaving. Everything is in your hands now, Gigi. Please make the right choice. I have talked to Kurama and he will help alongside the sage. Good luck now. And with that, Boruto vanished with tears in his eyes, as Sandam was shocked and remorseful for how his successor's family turned out. His son died against a battle against the gods, and his grandson returned back to the past so he could change and save the future. How much does this family had to sacrifice for their sake over and over again? Three generations have died in order to protect them, and they have to honor it. As Kakashi, who was standing there, listening to the story attentively, was thinking along the same lines. Why his senses linkage? Why couldn't be anyone but them who had to suffer such fate? But he knew he will change it altogether. Councils be damned. As he first opened the scrolls that was suggested to him, it was written by a Hyuga, as it had a Yuga Uzumaki badge on it. Hello, Kakashi Sensei. It's me, Hinata. I doubt that if you're reading this, you know about me at the time. But I am from Team Kurenai. My teammates were Hiba Inuzuka and Shino Aburame, and I became later on known as Hinata Uzumaki Namikaze Yuga because I became his wife. We had two loving children. And please, I want you to do everything you can to get Obito on your side. He is still alive out there, yes. And he's the one who was behind the QB attack. He is being manipulated by Zetsu, as was Madara. Please get him to your side. If he wants proof, then there are many. And you can turn off your Sharingan if you stop channeling chakra into it and apply this jutsu. As he applied the jutsu after thanking this girl who he didn't knew about. And then Hinata's last words were, please, all of those sensei, and you as well, Kakashi sensei, I request, train all of us hard as you can because I want to be able to protect Naruto and everyone alongside. This time, I saw many deaths, sensei. Yours, many more of our comrades and friends lay dead to waste by my own adopted son and by those monsters that arrived. I have to go. They are here now. Please, just train hard by yourself and train us hard as well. And the last message is for my father and my uncle. Please do not sacrifice each another for one another. Stick together and council be damned. If Akumo Shinobi comes with a peace treaty, he is most likely there to kidnap me. You have to stop him and keep him alive as an proof that Kumo was conspiring things at the name of peace, not kill him out of rage. That is all I ask. Hinata Uzumaki Namikaze. As this was the letter that was mentioned to them. As Kakashi was crying, the new generation has suffered enough because of their mistakes and everything that they did. And the next 4 scrolls were for the next 4 Kages of the all villages. But they were to be sent on a later date because the date was mentioned above them. One was in name of Oniki, one was in name of Gara no Sabuko, the other one was in name of Mei Terumi, and the last one was in name of A. While Kumo and Kiri had different Kages at the time, and so could be said for Suna. Oniki one got Hiruzen's eye and knew that Oniki was still there and will be later on in the future. As then Hiruzen said, call for a council meeting. We have a lot of things to discuss. He said, looking at the kid in front of him that was inside a basket as the whole council arrived. So that is the new Jinchuriki. Yes, but that is not important. Then what is? You see, when we were arriving back with the Jinchuriki and the son of Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki, as everyone guessed. But how? I thought he was dead. No. And how do you know he was dead? As the civilian began to sweat. Something is suspicious, civilian-san. If you don't tell me, then there will be consequences later on. Anyways, let me continue. It was a young man who appeared in a bright light. He was wounded heavily. And he was Boruto Uzumaki Namikaze Hyuga. As everyone's eyes widened, what do you mean by that? Hokage-sama said. Hiyashi Hyuga. He was yours and Minato's grandson. As Hiyashi's eyes widened, as Tizumi and everyone's looked towards him. Does that mean my daughter is going to? Yes. The future is not that bright, but it can be changed for the better. What can this kid and demon possibly achieve in the future that he's such an important figure, Hokage-sama, that his grandson will come back? This kid is known as the god of shinobi, as everyone guessed, and he has saved the whole elemental nations and made peace with all Bijus and humans. Everyone's jaws dropped. This kid, he was going to change the course and face of the elemental nations, and he was even able to achieve peace with all 5 elemental nations as well, and was able to maintain it for 30 years. Wait, 30 years? Even though it was quite a long period, but what happened? They wanted to know, as Tizumi asked, raising a hand. What happened? Tragedy struck, as it struck everywhere. It was none other than the Otsutsuki's, from which the Sage of the Six Paths originated. The clan is still out there somewhere, and they will come and cause destruction to the whole world. That kid with the last jutsu he created jumped back in time and gave us the needs and all the necessities to train this kid in order to become strong, and all of us as well, so strong that we will be able to take them out. He has developed the jutsu and ways to prevent them from taking over your body. Wait, they can take over bodies now? Said Shikaku. Yes. That kid was one of the victims, but he was easily able to kill him. The one who was possessed by Momoshiki Otsutsuki. These Otsutsukis are quite troublesome then. Yes. They are like Hyugas, and at the same times are not. What do you mean by that, Hokage-sama? You Hyugas are not the pure breeds. Those Otsutsukis are. The chakra originated from them. They consume the natural life force of a planet and turn it into a chakra fruit before they eat it to get more power. And that is their aim to come here. I have read my scroll last night, before the meeting began, as it was already morning. And what I read was something interesting and not good at the same time. First of all, we have to call all 3 of the Sanins back if we want this to work. Wait, what do you mean by the 3 Sanins, Hiruzen? Said Koharu. Are you out of your mind? Have you forgotten what Orochimaru did have done to our village? He wants immortality. I have the means to give him that, in order to make him loyal back to Konoha. And how is that possible? I'm not going to tell you that, Danzo, because the future is revealed to me, and so have your plans, all of your plans. And for that, I'm going to put charges and start an investigation. If they matches so much as one of the charges that is written down here, you will all be executed. No questions asked, and no payrolls given. As there was many voices that were raised, but none were given the time of the day. As Hiruzen stood up from his seat and gave a scroll, which was a hefty scroll, to Hiyashi. This is a scroll from your grandson. It contains proof that he was your grandson, alongside Minato's. You can look through it, and everything you need is inside of it. And with this, the meeting is adjourned. What are you going to do with his heritage? Said Kakashi. They will be kept here. You will train him, Kakashi. And before that, you will have to train yourself alongside me. But I have a job to do. One more thing to do now. As the council was quite shocked now that the demon that also thought that they might put under their thumb was the son of their Kage, and who was very much alive, and things were not in their favor. As after 2 days in the night time, we see that it was raining heavily as the thunder was storming, as Hiruzen was in his office with baby Naruto and Kakashi, as a huge lightning boomed, and when it died down, the three Sonics were standing there. "What are you doing here, Snake?" said Jiraiya. "Jiraiya, I called him back." "Orochimaru, how have you been?" "I've been good, Sensei. I wanted to find out what also to turn into an immortal. You have discovered that I couldn't in the past years. Well, it is from the future self. Here, it is your own scroll written by your son." As both Tsunade and Jiraiya did a double take. "What?" As Orochimaru's eyes widened. I'll play your game, Sensei." As when Orochimaru opened the scroll, his eyes widened. There were pictures as proof of him and his son. "Hello, father. If you're reading this, then I am most likely dead. My name is Mitsuki. I was created with your DNA, and technically am your son. You have achieved your goal in your life of having an immortal life, but during that phase of your life, you grew bored and felt lonely for the first time. That is why you created me. And we had a rocky start, but we were there. We were a happy family until tragedy struck. Otsuzukis attacked and killed you and me as well, if you're reading this. Those are strong beings, father. You must help Konoha in order for us to live a happy future. I have seen horrors. I have seen Kabuto and many others of your compliance die, who were as my uncles and aunts. I cannot fathom that they died in order to protect you and me. I cannot bear this burden anymore. I'm going all out today. It's a suicide mission, a mission I'm not aiming to return from. I've given this letter to Boruto, because if his seals works, then you will get this letter. Just know this, I love you, father. I know I never said these words, but I hope you get it. And you know that how much you mean to me. Your loving son, Mitsuki." As beneath them were instructions how to become immortal. Just make a clone, a solid clone of yourself, and transfer your chakra and consciousness into it. And voila, you're immortal now. As what happened next caused everyone to gasp and widen their eyes even in more shock. Orochimaru, the cold-blooded killer, was crying. "So this is my son." And he then turned enraged as his fist clenched. "What do I have to do, Sensei, in order to prevent this from happening? And I need permission to do one test." "What?" "I want to make my son." "No, not so early on, Orochimaru. It will be done after the 4th Great Shinobi War, because after that, your son was made by you." "I have to wait that long?" "Yes, you have to. When is that going to happen?" "In the coming up few years, it will happen, and you have to go against the 10 Tails. All of you. Jiraiya, this is a scroll from Naruto to you. He made it before his dying breath. It was written by his wife, though." "I see." "Hiro-san, if you're listening to this scroll, then just so you know that I was able to achieve peace that you wanted, but it was only temporary. There are beings out there that are stronger than us that we can fathom. There are all Suzukis, and I guess I have failed. Like you and my father, I have failed as well in order to bring peace. My peace that I brought was so fragile that it broke. Maybe Nagato was right. This world should have known pain. But this world shouldn't have known pain in my idea. These Otsutsuki should have. And if you're reading this, then you mustn't go alone after Akatsuki when the time comes. Never go alone. Stay here, because everything you need will be done by me if you train me properly this time. And don't go dying out on me and your other 2 teammates so early on. Okay? This time if I become a Hokage, I want you to be there with me. Peace out, your loving student, Naruto. And the letter ended with tears, indicating that he should have passed away since his wife was writing this down. As he was too now saddened, this is your letter, Tsunade. I have already given to those who were important the letters. It was only Hiyashi Yuga and you guys. As it was from Sakura and from Naruto. As she opened Sakura's first one. Hey sensei, yes, I am Sakura Haruno, a civilian girl who you will take apprentice after becoming Godaime Hokage. When Naruto, that idiot, and your teammate Jiraiya of the Sanin bring you back. Well, they went on a 3-year training trip after our teammate betrayed us and went to Orochimaru. And well, I was trained by you. And you became the godmother of my daughter after she was born, Sarada Uchiha. And if you're reading this letter, just so you know, you don't have to sacrifice for us anymore. I want you to train alongside with us to become strong. Because of our arrogance and thinking that we have mighty strength, we were taken out easily. Please, sensei, don't linger in the past. Naruto told me what happened before they brought you back, and move forward. That is what Naoki and Dan would have wanted. Your dying words were that they were happy and proud of you, that they were here to take you with them in the afterlife. As Tsunade broke down after hearing that, as she didn't have the will to open Naruto's, but she did. Hey Ba-chan, if you're reading this, then please, my only message to you is that wake the hell up from your nightmare. Move forward, because the world needs you now. Tsunade sent you, and you are not going to be a disappointment to your grandfather, your grandmother, and to your granduncle legacy. You are their legacy, and move forward and strong. And Dan and Naoki visited me in the dream and said that if they're going to do that, that they should forward their message as well. As Dan then said, Hime, please move forward. Forget about me. Live your life to the fullest and maybe give Jiraiya a chance. As Naoki then said, Ne-chan, you were supposed to be cool, not the lame one. As with that, the letter ended with Naruto's comments. Stop being an old hag for once, and be the Tsunade Senju and the young woman that you so desirably wanted to be. And with that, Tsunade laughed, and started to cry even more. We will help, sensei, as he looked at the kid with a smile. So, I guess I will be teaching him, and I guess I will be teaching this Uchiha, and I will be teaching this civilian girl from Haruno clan. As Urza nodded, but all in due time, all in due time. As Orochimaru had been in deep thought that night, his son, the pictures were in his hand. He could see that his future self was quite happy, and he was inside Konoha, and with his son there, as he got his Konoha's headband, and he had his 2 other teammates there. One seemed to be an Uchiha, while the other one seemed to be just like this kid. And the infant child was behind them, as he had hand over that blonde kid that resembled him. As Orochimaru smiled, don't worry, son. This time I will make sure that you are happy. I will protect your smile. It is my time now to protect you. As Naruto was being taken care by Jiraiya, as we go towards the Hyuga clan compound, as inside it, we see that the whole council was sitting, and Hiyashi's family as well, alongside his brother and their cousin. As the one of the elders said, are you out of your mind? Do you really trust that kid? What if this is some kind of a device to distract us from our motives? No. As Hiyashi opened the scroll, as it did from his blood, and with it was an album, a picture album, which showed that how his daughter grew with him up until she was married, and his other daughter, and how there was a funeral for Neji, who has passed away. As Izashi's eyes widened, my son died. And from the looks of it, what his gravestone says, hero of the great Fort Shinobi War, savior of many lives. And as they went forward, they saw that Hinata, his daughter, and the clan here had two beautiful children. And then he saw his smiling face while hugging the said two children, as one of the blonde kid looked annoyed though, but he was happy. And Hitomi and Yashi, who was there, was surprised and smiled at it. They looked beautiful, but where are you? I don't see you in this picture. As Hitomi then smiled, as Yashi's eyes widened. You passed away, didn't you? Yashi was in deep shock after Hisashi's words. So what if I did? What? Are you sick or something? Not now that I think of. Hinata was born healthy and so was I. As then Elder said, what kind of mockery is this? How can you allow this, Yashi? Shut the hell up. Don't you see the future generation has suffered enough because of our consequences? Hisashi, your son will not be marked with the cage bird seal. Not anymore. And those who stand against us will be executed on the spot. And I will merge the next generation of the branch and the main house into one. We are a family and we are supposed to stick together, not divided into two categories. One sub and one main. I have enough of this already. As after that, Yashi left, as he had scrolls to read the letters from his granddaughter, as it said, and his grandson and his daughter. As he first, with his wife and his brother, opened his daughter's. Hello, father. If you're reading this, then I am no more. And the jutsu was successful and Boruto-kun was able to give you this letter. Please, father, you have to stop the cage bird seal, and as well as stop the arrogance of Yuga in its tracks, because that is what the Yuga clan got killed. Hanabi was arrogant, even if she was my loving sister and loved her nephew and niece to death, but she was arrogant, like many other Yugas, and that led to her downfall and demise. Please, don't turn arrogant, because our arrogance is our loss. And please tell mother that I love her, and I wish she could have been there for me, and it was that because of a poison that was given to her by her most loyal maid. Yes, I'm talking about Komi Yuga. Don't threaten her yet, because find out why she did it and who was behind it. And keep them alive, because I'm going to kill them with my own bare hands. As after that, the letter shifted. And if you're reading this, then uncle, please, this time, don't sacrifice your life for my father. And stop Neji from doing so for my sake. You are our family. And we need you with us. Not as our servants, but as our family and our equal. And to my loving mother, please remember that I love you. Raise Hinabi as well as you have raised me when the time comes. We will need you there. Because without you, I'm not going to be strong in the upcoming years. I will be shy and too kind for Yuga standards until I find my strength. As after that, the letter ended, as they saw all the album over and over again, as they were seeing the future and they were happy about it. Hiyashi was happy, but Hisashi, he was happy and proud of his son that he found his way to break the cage, just like he did, but said and that he died young, that his legacy died and ended, but this time he was going to make sure that this couldn't happen, as it had a secret message at the end. Stop the Kumo Shinobi that are going to intervene in the name of treachery if they ever kidnap any one of us. Don't kill them outright, because that will lead to the downfall of the Yuga clan. As after that, one scroll suddenly poofed in front of the Fugaku Uchiha. It was a scroll that he didn't receive. What is this? Open with your wife, from your son, Sasuke. as Itachi, who was 3 years old, was quite surprised. Is it from Sasuke-kun? I don't know. As it opened to reveal an album of the Uchiha family and the letter, "Hello father, if you're reading this, then it is me, your son Sasuke from the future. As my student Boruto has been able to complete the seal and it isn't untested though. It is our last resort. If that happens, then this letter will find you all by itself because I've stored it with complexity. Other than you, no one can open it. Inside it are my eyes, my Sharingan eyes, Mangekyo. If my brother ever achieves the Mangekyo, implant them in him and make him use those eyes. After his eyes grow weird because mine is internal, and his eyes must go to me for me to achieve these eyes." As the next step was that, and don't start a coup against the village because it will be the last mistake you all make. Don't be arrogant and don't be manipulated by an orange moss person or a Zetsu-like creature because they are the one who are the cause of the downfall of the shinobi world from the Shodai Hokage up until now, from my time, up until the Fourth War. And in that album is the picture of your granddaughter and your niece, Nii-san. I know you are listening to this as well. And Ka-chan, thank you for everything you did before you, father, were killed by him. As both the parents were surprised, as so was Itachi. Yes, my Nii-san did everything he could to prevent a war from happening. His relationship was strained between you and him and the village, so he chose village and me in order to protect me. He sacrificed all of you and himself. Later on, when I found him, he was found that he had an incurable disease and that he died during the battle in which I killed him. After that, I knew that it was Danzo and Koharu and Hamura who were behind it, and I went and started the Fourth Shinobi War against all elemental nations, becoming a rogue shinobi. But it was all for naught. My friend, that blonde baka Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, who was pestering me because I deserted the village to come back over and over again, finally had our all-out battle. I even used Susanoo to take that fool down, but he was easily able to overpower me and win and change my heart, and for the best. I hope he does the same if I become arrogant in every timeline. Because of him, I was able to marry the love of my life and have a beautiful daughter. Your loving son and brother, Sasuke Uchiha, Shadow Hokage of the Konoha village. As the album was opened by Shiki Fugaku after reading this heavy letter, as he saw Sarada Uchiha from infant baby to growing up to be the 10th Hokage, as his eyes were widened. One of the Uchihas are going to be Hokage, and it was going to be their granddaughter. As they saw that how Naruto was standing there, and so was another person who had brown hair and resembled one from Sarutobi clan, and how she was happy, and how there was a blonde kid that was near her, as the next picture showed that both of them kissed. And that snapped the whole family as their Sharingan activated. "Who is this boy?" said Fugaku. "Oh, he's my husband. P.S. I know that you're going to be mad. This is your granddaughter. My husband has devised a plan to go back into time to prevent it. Yes, we had to marry early on because of what Kawaki-kun did. So I hope that you are able to find it in your hearts to accept that. You too, uncle. And know that I love all of you, as have my father and everyone else around him. This is your granddaughter. And with love, goodbye." As they finished the whole album and keep it safe, as both the parents turned towards Itachi. "Itachi." "Yes, father, mother." Itachi wasn't a genius kid. He was a prodigy. He knew that his parents were mad because of his future self choices. "We are proud of you, son." He was confused because you chose the right thing. You chose a family member, your little brother, above everything else, and that is what we expect from you. And you suffer from this incurable disease. We have to get to the bottom of this. And I'm going to make sure that that blonde fucker doesn't get close to my granddaughter after my son is married. And you are going to get married too this time, young man, said Mikoto. What? I'm 3, mother. I don't care if you're 3. Once you get enough of the age, you will be married, young man. Hi, ma'am. As after that, time passed from then on, and Naruto was 8 years of age, as we see him meditating in the Mount Miyaboku. His training was quite rushed, and he was training heftily from the age of 5, and he was already at a Jonin level speed and taijutsu, and he could even use all of his jutsus alongside his father's Rasengan, but the Harishin was still nowhere near the level of his father. As he was meditating, as Kyuubi spoke, "Oi, Naruto. What is it, Kurama?" Yes, Naruto and Kurama's relationship hit it off, and Kurama found out that the boy was worthy enough to wield his power and to become his comrade and friend. And Naruto was humbled out by the people around him, and he wasn't turned arrogant. As he was slapped on the back by Fukusaka. "Itai, what was that for, Pa?" "You were talking to Kurama, weren't you?" How did you know?" "I am an old toad, young man. I know everything." As for Jiraiya, he had went and gone after leaving Naruto there to Amegakure, alone again, but this time with some news. As he was infiltrating it, he came face to face with Konan and Yahiko with Rinnegan. "Hello, Konan." "Hello, Nagato." "Hello, Sensei. Why are you here? I have news that I need to tell you too." "What news?" "It is from the future. There is no peace, there is only destruction there." "How can you say that, Sensei?" "See through my memories, and look what I have found with proof." As Nagato did that as well, after putting a hand on Jiraiya's head, as he stumbled back. I see. I see now. I was wrong, and Zetsu was behind it all. Yes, even after killing that, it is not enough. The Otsuzukis will come by themselves. We have to do something about that. We have to make a barrier to protect ourselves and our world. I will do everything in my power, Sensei, and tell the whole Akatsuki without him knowing. I will have to tell Obito about this as well. You have to. What are you going to do, Sensei? I'm going to train Naruto to become strong. And you have to train as well, Nagato. And you as well, Konan. This time we will need all the strength we get, because the ones we are facing are the true gods, not us, man-made puppets. As Nagato nodded, "You have our support, Sensei, and we apologize for losing the path." "No, it was because of my mistakes that you lost that path. It was because of the Yahiko's sacrifice, Nagato. You don't have anyone to blame but me." "No, Sensei. You're not the one to blame. You never made those choices. You trained us and left, while we were the one following Yahiko in his adventure to achieve peace." "But we will kill Danzo." "Well, yeah, you have to kinda get into line for that." "Why?" "Because there are many people who wants to do that." "I see. Good one, Sensei." As after that, the Akatsuki's leaders left, and a meeting was called when Zetsu was sent away, as Tobi was there. "Obito, I want you to remove your mask first." "How do you know it was me?" "Well, I knew from the beginning who you were. Or you can say for the thanks of my sensei." "Who? Jiraiya?" "What? How did they find out?" "Yes, Konoha knows about your identity, and so does Kakashi." "How?" "Well, let's just say your sensei's grandson came from the future with the dire news." "What news?" "It's Zetsu who's been manipulating you into freeing his mother. There is no future. There's just war and betrayal for us." "So you mean to say that it was all for nothing?" said Kisame. "Yes, but we have a new mission now. We have to train and get strong to help out when the so-called Otsutsuki gods arrive." "What are these beings?" "Imagine on all 9 tail beasts combined into the 10 tails that we are going to revive, which is 100 times stronger than all the beasts combined. Now imagine that, plus 100 them equals to 1 Otsutsuki, and there are 10 Otsutsukis who are out there." As their eyes widen, "Such strong beings." Yes, they look mother like a little kitten in front of them. As Obito gritted his teeth, then it was all a lie. Yes. What are we going to do? And how are we going to do it? Obito said, getting out of his face of betrayal and shock. We have to get strong. So strong that we will be able to take at least 2 or 3 down with ourselves, if nothing else. As after the Akatsuki agreed to help out the elemental nations, we go back to Naruto, who has finally achieved the Sage mode. Oh my god. Hima, are you seeing this? Hi, Pa. He's able to master it over in the course of a week. As after that mastering it, Naruto felt immense energy coursing through his body and veins. Oi, Brad, enter the chakra state. As Naruto did so, and 8 black orbs were behind his back and a staff appeared as he was levitating into the ground. His orange jacket was turned into a golden cloak and everything underneath it turned black. His sandals were golden as well, and so was his hair and eyes, which were now in a cross-like manner between Senjutsu and cubified eyes. As Naruto then said, "This is my true power then. It is immense, such immense chakra," said Fukusaka. "Yes, Pa, it is really immense, much more stronger than anything I have ever seen. It seems this is the power of Hagoromo-sama that was bestowed upon him." As Naruto's one eye then turned black, with the 2 eyes intact together, a white pupil appeared behind it. It was a jougan, as markings appeared all over his body, on his arm and over his face. So this is the Karma Seal, as Naruto for the first time has awoken it, and so have his dojutsu. He has written in a letter that it was used to absorb each and every elemental jutsu and every chakra, every bit of it, and was able to release it 100 times fold with more power and agility, and it can replenish your chakra as well. And other than that, it was more like Sharingan but more efficient, and Byakugan combined, as these markings, whenever appeared, increased his strength, agility, speed, and many much things. As then Shira appeared. "Are you done, Brad?" "Oh, hey Rasanin, I'm done. How about we return back to the village now? It's been a year since you left." "Yeah, I guess you're right." As Naruto returned back to the village at the age of 8. As this time he was going to go to the academy with his friends, which were clan heads children, all of them. As we see Naruto arriving and entering it, as Iruka greeted him with a smile. "Ah, Naruto, you're back." "Yes, I am, Sensei." "So," Naruto said, sitting next to Sasuke, "how was your training with the snake, Teme?" "It was good, Dobe. It was better." As Sakura then said, "Yeah, Naruto, mine as well." Sakura has been thrown out of her fangirlish phase by Tsunade beating the shit out of Sakura. And Sakura was thankful for that. Now she was aiming to become a strong Konoichi. She could not say the same thing about her best friend / rival, which was Ino. And Sasuke has shown great interest in Sakura now as well. But Naruto had only shown interest in one girl, Hinata Hyuga, who he saved all those years ago from the bullies in the snowy winter night. And the girl has fallen in love with the said boy from then on. And Naruto and Hinata's relationship was going nice, and Hinata wasn't that much of a sissy and didn't pass out whenever he was near. As for Ino, she was quite jealous about this. And during those years, Haruto Hiruzen had made quite a bit changes. For example, Danzo was taken out before he could do any more damages. And so was Koharu and Hamura, and many of the civilian council members were executed by betrayal and tax exemptions and money evasions. As per in letter, Kumo did strike, but they were captured alive, and Kumo did compensate for that by a huge amount of jutsus and money in order to get the shinobis back. And after that, the Hyuga clan was saved, as it was now merged together, as Neji was not arrogant bastard as he was, and Hinata wasn't as shy as she was. And after this, we go towards the time skip. 13 years of age. Naruto reached the 13 year of age and so did his comrades, and after that, Naruto was already a Kage level shinobi at the time. He has mastered the Irishin, Rasengan, Rasen Shuriken, and all forms and elemental style of Rasengan thanks to Kyuubi. He has made contact with other Jinchurikis as well by calling them into the meeting place where all Jinchurikis and Bijus appeared and told them about the great dangers that await them. As Kurama confirmed that, as the other Bijus were shocked to find that the clan of their father is coming, who he thought that was extinct. As the other Jinchurikis were quite surprised by their Bijus' behavior, and it was a confirmation that it was real, and they were all going to die out. And they have been told to get wary of Akatsuki not anymore, because they were now on their side. As Zetsu, he was killed off by the whole Akatsuki. He wasn't even able to see what was coming at him, a betrayal that he was going to cause upon his own team that he also gathered. After that, the team placement was as in canon, and the mission that Kakashi was given in the letter were as in canon as well. He did the 30 D rank missions and went for a C rank mission as Naruto requested it. It was Tasuna's mission. They went to the land of waves, and this time Kakashi gave Zabuza and Haku a chance and saved both of them and got them in their side. As after that, they killed Garo and all of its goons, and the village was saved. And when they returned, Naruto and many of the shinobis alongside with the three Sanins had many things to do. Kill off those who were not redeemable, but save as many as possible. This time, each and every clan was training hard and strong because they knew the danger was coming. As we go towards the space, as the 10 Otsuzukis have gathered there, Kaguya, who was free now, Ishiki, Momoshiki, Kishiki, Urashiki, their king, and the remaining gods which were absorbed by him, making him the Omni Otsutsuki. As he then looked towards the rest of them, you have to become a part of me. What? This wasn't a part of plan? Not anymore. There are chains of plan. As he absorbed the rest of them as well, becoming Ultra Omni Urashiki Otsutsuki, the king of heavenly realms. Beware, village of elemental nations. I am coming. During those times, Meichirumi was surprised when Yagura handed the title of the Mizukage to him, as Obito has dropped his genjutsu, and he has been aware of what he had done alongside Izubu. And Rasa has been killed off by Orochimaru as planned, but this time Baki was acting as a Kage, and a letter was sent to him about Gaara, and Meichirumi and A were also sent a letter, and Oniki as well. The letter had proofs of the pictures from the future and how the peace was achieved. And all of them were quite surprised by this and became aware that they were in danger. Their future was in danger. No one was saved from it. Only they can save it. As they joined alliances with one another in order to prepare for this being's attack, as Naruto and Jiraiya and other Sanins have been doing some things, traveling with their apprentices, placing seals over all elemental nations and over the world. It took them 3 years to complete that at high Jonin speed, traveling from village to village, jumping from it and arriving in the center, which was Konoha. As after that, the time was passing easily as Naruto and Hinata were on their date, and when the tragedy struck, weather all over the world changed as it began to rumble and change as a huge entity appeared. It was floating. Everyone could see it, even though it was small. As Naruto then, alongside everywhere of the shinobis, activated the barrier as it erupted, as a huge lightning dragon was coming down upon them by the said entity. But it didn't do any damage. The barrier was strong enough to withhold it. As Naruto and all of his teammates gathered. Damn it! Where are the other Otsuzukis? Oh no, he has... Don't tell me he consumed them. Shit, what are we going to do? As the Karma Seal activated. I know what to do, Naruto said. Are you out of your mind, Naruto? You're going to get yourself killed. No, this is the only way. When I say drop the barrier, do it. For a bit second. Naruto said with a telepathic communication with everywhere in the elemental nation. As Kurodatsuchi from Eva, Mei from Kiri, Gara from Suna, and A from Kumo were holding on to the barrier. Are you out of your mind, Naruto? This is dangerous. This is no time to play games, kid, said A, as Kurodatsuchi nodded, because she was the first one to say that. Yes, my friend, this is not the time, and you will be endangering yourself. You should know that you are the only one able to stop him. I know, and that is what I'm going to do. As Naruto was freed from the barrier for a split second, as everyone gritted their teeth, as the king said, "Ah, foolish one and a strong one. You are that of a minor one." What do you mean by that? He said that you have the power of a minor god. Let's show him our true power. As he erupted into KCM2 state, as the Sage mode appeared, and so did the Six Paths Chakra, all of it, the Ninshu, and the Karma Seal. As the lightning dragons were launched at him, as he absorbed them, such chakra! As Naruto then launched a huge Rasen Shuriken at the size of half of the planet. As the being started to absorb it, but he was overcharged and his arm was blown off. How is this possible? It shouldn't be. As the being then said, "You used that right. Let's go out." As the battle commenced, as everyone was seeing this, as whenever they landed a punch on each other, or the punch connected with punch, it caused rips and cracks on the shield. But the shield was holding itself. Hold on! Damn it, Naruto. You have to do this. We don't think we can hold on for much longer. As Naruto then saw the Sasuke appeared as well. And Naruto smiled. You're gonna do that, Tame. As a huge fox erupted, as there was a disgusting beast in front of them, a white 10-tails wolf. As the 9-tailed fox erupted, and it was now in a Susanoo armor. As over it, Itachi appeared and caused his Susanoo red armor to grow. Let's do this, as the three of them roared, as two swords came down, one red and one purple. As a Bijudama was charged as well. The beast was cut, and the Otsutsuki King was released. Go down, you need to protect them. As Naruto was depleting on chakra heavily, because he was saving his friends who were also chakra depleted with that attack. It was a devastating attack that launched on the said man. But he was laughing. You motherfuckers, you almost killed me. But I was able to survive. As with the last bit of his powers, if I'm going down, you're going down with me. He charged a huge mighty Bijudama and charged towards Naruto. It was a black orb same the size of a planet, but Naruto knew what to do. He, with all the chakra he has, do it kid, formed a huge Rasengan as he clashed it with it, equaling its power out, and he was falling behind after pushing it out of the space. As Naruto was gritting his teeth, and then he felt it. Some hands connecting near him. It was his son, who smiled at him, and his daughter. As Naruto's eyes widened, as both the girl and the boy smiled. You got this, Dad, said the girl. Yeah, old man, don't you dare back out now. As Naruto smiled. Yeah, I won't. As he then felt himself a bigger version of it pushing him, and so Kurama and everyone else. And Naruto charged as he roared, "Ah!" As his Bijudama, or Rasengan Bijudama, was able to overpower the said being and executed it. But before Naruto could be given the Karma Seal again, Boruto appeared and destroyed it. You! But what are you? I am the ghost that will haunt the Otsutsuki's for the rest of their life, now that there are no Otsutsuki's left. As it was bright light everywhere, Naruto was floating there. He came face to face with his older self and his family. Thank you, young me. Now go there and have a nice family, and this time don't you dare ignore your son. Is that right, Boruto? You bet, old man. Yeah, said Himawari. Don't ignore me, Dad. As Naruto smiled, I won't, I promise. And then he saw Hinata, and then he knew why he felt attracted to her. As he was falling down at rapid speeds from the sky, as Sasuke dropped the barrier and went to catch him. Naruto! As before he could, Hinata, who jumped and beat it to him,
caught Naruto in her arms, but she was falling down. I'll save you, Naruto-kun. But she was caught by Sakura. Hinata, are you out of your mind? Naruto wasn't breathing anymore. And then Sakura checked. Oh no, he has no pulse. Come on, kid. Don't die out now, Kurama said, as he was also quite saddened by this. But suddenly, Hinata grabbed him. No, I refuse to believe this. Naruto, wake up! Please, I love you. As tears started to fall on Naruto's eyes, as Naruto started to wake up. I love you too, Hinata. As Hinata blushed and passed out. As Naruto woke up, as everyone cheered, as the whole elemental rejoiced because of their victory. They have saw the battle, what happened, and the Kages and the previous generation were commending Naruto and deemed him really the god of shinobi. As the other Bijus were also cheering, and so were the Jinchurikis. No one had to sacrifice their life. Even the Akatsuki was cheering. They were happy for once to be good and felt that they were doing something important. They were a part of it. Everyone was a part of it. And no one had to die thanks to Boruto. Time passed, and Naruto was nominated as the 7th Hokage. Tsunade and Kakashi still became the first two Hokages before him. After that, it was his turn, and his hat was given to him by much older Hiruzen Sarutobi, as his younger son was looking at him. Oi, old man, don't you forget about us. You're going to be a Kage. It's your big day. Yes, Boruto, but you are more important than that. Really? You mean it? Yes, son, I mean it. As he hugged Hinata, Boruto, and his younger Himawari close. And when he came to the Hokage monument stop, everyone cheered for him. Sasuke and Sakura's daughter, Sarada, was there. Inoue and Sai's son, Inosuke was there. I don't know what his name was, I kind of forgot. And same could be said Choji and Karui. And many other next generations were there. As this time, their grandparents were there as well from their maternal side. And so was Erasanin and the other Kages. As Mitsuki then said to his father, Nee, To-chan. What is it, Mitsuki-kun? Do you think I will be able to become a Kage? If you aim to, you will. And look at that boy over there. You can think of him as your sunshine, because he, like a sunshine, has dawned over all of us, said Orochimaru. He was still grateful and thankful for Boruto for all he did. At least his alternative reality did. As Naruto looked at the sky to see the image of his son smiling at him, as he nodded, and so did his son before disappearing. I promise you, Boruto, this time I'm going to make everything right. As Naruto then heard Kakashi saying, People of Konoha, rejoice! Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, the Nanadaime Hokage of Konohagakure no Sato, as everyone cheered, as Naruto took the hat and mentality of the 7th Hokage of the said village, as he gave a toothy grin to everyone. This peace was going to be everlasting, and he was going to make sure of that, and he wasn't going to slack off. Not anyone will be able to. As this is where I'm going to be leaving the story of, guys. I hope you like this one, and if you do, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel. As this is Apollo Uchiha, and I'm signing out. Peace.